this video, we're going to show you how to install the front door of the Model 3 right here. So if you notice, I actually already have it placed and I have some tape ready. I actually already wiped it down, so just so you know, I will do one more wipe down right at the end of it. But before we get started, we want to go ahead and put some transfer paper. So the transfer paper that we want to put is basically just right here, and the reason why this is important is it basically just keeps it in place, okay? So it keeps this little structure. If you don't, when you pull, it could potentially pull in different areas that you don't want, so that's why we do that. All right, so now that we've gotten that, we're gonna go ahead and just set it aside real quick. Peel. And then I'm just gonna put it in the back side real quick. And then we'll go ahead and grab our tack solution and then our microfiber. I actually already did all the edges, so make sure if you haven't, do all the edges, go inside the door handles. It can be really dirty right there. You're just gonna go ahead and wipe it down. This last wipe down is very important. It just ensures that everything is good before we actually get started. All right, now that we're good, let's go ahead and get this door right here. All right, so as far as alignment, there's actually several alignment that you want to look at. Okay, first off, you want to start with this right here, okay? Your leading edge is going to be this side right here. And when you push this down, it should be right to it, okay? The other thing you want to look at is to make sure that the handles are actually aligned. It's not the main driver, but it should be one of the drivers, right? In terms of like where it sits. The other factor is when you go down right here, it should be a little bit past that edge, right into this body line right here. And then when you go to the other side, it should also be like right up to the edge, like this, okay? And then once you're happy with that, which I'm pretty happy with, right there, you're gonna go ahead and just make sure you squeegee up, okay? And then you're just gonna work your way all the way around. I'm gonna check this real quick one more time. I tend to like putting a little bit more on the bottom just because it shows a little bit more. Okay, and then once you're comfortable, which I'm pretty comfortable, maybe we can go just a little bit more up, maybe. Just a tiny bit up. Okay, and then when I do this, it should feel like natural. There you go, that's, okay. There we go. Same thing here. Feel pretty good now about all this. All right, so the next step is to make sure that this is flat. So if you notice, I'm kind of moving it around. And then once we get to this point, you can go ahead and just, well, first of all, make sure that's good. Amazing. Okay. I'm actually going to go ahead and just make sure that this is all anchored. Just like that. Okay. Okay, and as I go up, I'm actually going to go ahead and just go straight into the door handle, just because it's such an important area right there. And then you're just going to keep it nice and flat, right? And just go straight up. Okay, so we'll do the same thing here. There's going to be a little bit of tension, but it's okay. It's just the door handle. There we go. The main thing that you don't want to do is just trap the air really anywhere right there. Okay. Continue to go up, and you can see right here, that's actually pretty great. And go all the way up to that line right here. Okay. As you kind of get closer right here, you're going to go ahead and push this in. And then go ahead, goes all the way in right here. Perfect. Wow. Remember, notice I already removed the trims, but that looks really good. Once you get to this point, you can actually remove your tape because now it's being held by the actual vinyl, right? So we can go ahead and just kind of remove this a little bit. That's great. And if you notice, there's actually more spacing at the bottom, and that's actually what you want because that's what you're going to be looking at on the handles. You want more vinyl at the bottom. All right, great. Now that we've gotten this, let's go ahead and see if we can kind of figure that out. So I'm going to grab my tucking tool, my green tool, and all you're going to do is just kind of feed it in. You don't want a whole lot of material actually. It's much more difficult. So you see it's just enough. And then same thing right here. That's really key for this. All right, now that we're good, handles are good, let's go ahead and just move forward. Okay, it's a little more challenging because of the mirror. If you have to, you can actually do that. Okay. All right, and then you're gonna go ahead and try to get the middle right here. All right, the big thing right here is to just kind of put some tension. Just let it go. And then you can use it as a handle right here. My goal right now is to just get it to that body line, which I just did. And then I'm going to go ahead and get to the next section. And all you're doing is just, notice how I didn't actually remove the whole liner just yet. Right? So you can go center, out, and then you just kind of keep moving all the way. And then as I get another like 12 inches. And then what's nice about this right now is that the gravity kind of does its job and kind of keeps it in place. And you want to go center out, right? All the way. Okay. All right, let's go all the way. All right, so same thing here, guys. You're gonna keep going all the way to the body line. And that's gonna be a big trend right here. The body line is gonna be super important, especially for this piece right here. Just wanna make sure there's a little bit of a curvature right there, but it shouldn't be anything like harmful. Another alignment point right here, perfect. And then we're gonna do the last part, which is basically the last piece right here. All right, now it's pretty loose. We're gonna just use our finger right here just to get to the body line first, just like that. And then I'm just going to, look at that, it goes right to the corner right here. For the front, there's not a nub, just so you know, mainly because it's a little harder to get access that area. So we decided to just kind of do like a right angle cut right there. So just so you know. There we go. And then same thing over here. Just kind of keep it up. This one actually fits perfectly as well. Okay, now that we're at the end of this, it does get a lot easier. I guess the harder part is it kind of butts in with the rocker right there, so it can get a little bit harder in terms of access, okay? Other than that, you got plenty of coverage right there, plenty of coverage right here, okay? And that's pretty much it. So we're gonna go ahead and do the edges right here. And then after that, we're gonna do the outer edge, and I'll show you how to do all this. First off, guys, it's basically just removing this. Just kind of removing it from the fender right here. And then we have specific tools in your Vinyl Pro toolkit that you get that will allow you to do some really cool things, which I'm gonna go ahead and get. So everything I use right now is included. So think about doing everything in sections. So for example, like here, we need to first do this top section. I'm gonna go ahead and push this in real quick. Okay. All right. Same thing here. I'm just gonna push this all the way in to the crevice right here. Perfect. Boom. And then same thing here. You just want to make sure that it's completely gone. As long as it's not sticking. This one as well, you just want to make sure that everything just be careful around this because you don't want it to rip. So you guys should just get your squeegee like this, kind of pry it up. Great. All right, so now that we got all of this done, before I open it up, let's just go ahead and get this handle done. So first off, what I like to do is you want to heat this area, and I'm going to push this under right here. Okay, same thing here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just use this tool. Kind of, you can form it. Okay, and as I get here, I can just open this up, and then I can push this back down, which is amazing. And then I got this right here. Go ahead and push it down as well. Look at that. Push this down. My handles are fully wrapped now. Looks amazing. You can use heat in certain areas as well, but that looks phenomenal. And now I can open this door without worrying too much. A little bit here, but it's okay. Great. So now we're going to show you how to do this. I think this part is actually pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and heat this area. Use a wrap glove or your finger, up to you. I'm just going to go ahead and heat all this up. You also want to post heat all of this area. All right, like I said, or you could do it at the end of it. It's up to you how you want to do it. We're going to start at this little corner because it has some aggressive approach, and then after that, just go ahead and fold it over. Okay, same thing here. I kind of just do this area and then just fold it in, and then same thing here, kind of pull it in. There you go. Kind of fold it over right here. Not a problem. And the door right here, the rear door, we're going to show you all of it, but it's basically the same in terms of folding over all the edges. This one is not bad. I like to open it all the way, and then basically just run your finger like this, and then it really grabs all of that area right here. Go a little slower and make sure you're going side to side. I like doing it this way because I could visually see what I'm doing rather than kind of blindly doing it earlier. All right, so I can go ahead and just get all of this. All right, so lastly, it's kind of hard to see right here, but what I prefer to do is open it up as wide as I can, and then you'll get access to all the edges right here. And then once you do have access to it, you can heat it either from the inside or from the outside, and then you can actually fold it over from the edge like that, which makes it a lot easier. You could do the same thing. Just fold it over. Just make sure you're doing it gradually. Okay. Another trick I'll show you is you can actually use this squeegee, kind of go like this, and then you're just getting to the face of it. You're not going to get around it, but you will get to the face of that edge right here, like this. Okay. Next, I told you about my wrap tools. This specific tool is for edges like here. Once you've done that first part I showed you about, it allows you to basically just go kind of up, and then it wraps around the edge, and then you can kind of make sure it almost kind of hugs the edge, and that's pretty much it. And you just go all the way around. It's a great tool when you're in a tight pickle. There we go. It's hard. It's hard to remove it. Once I've done that, I do like to check it. It actually did a really good job in hugging all the edges. There's a couple areas where I did miss, and then you're just gonna go around with your finger and just kind of push it all down. Of course, I've done this enough, but I'm gonna show you over and over again. You gotta post seat. You gotta post seat everything. But look how beautiful this is now. Everything is good. You just wanna thoroughly do this. Go over it. Don't miss another area. This is how you make sure your wraps stay good and looking perfect for a long time, or else it could bubble. And this is basically stress testing it and killing that memory before you basically start driving it. Okay? You can see right here, all of this is good. And then you're gonna go ahead and put the trim back on. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's how you put the front door on a Model 3.